Sports fans, our friends over at Let's Rumble are all set for you to download their app and get into the game. It's a cool take on fantasy basketball, 5-man lineups daily, and since their pool is small, you've got a great chance to win money. We've had tons of people from here already sign up and play head-to-head against each other, or in a group, or even against me. My username is BBallBreakdown, and it would be really fun to see you out there at Let's Rumble. So download their app today and help a friend of the program continue to help people enjoy NBA games on an even deeper level. You in? Hey sports fans, Coach Nick here, and welcome to BBallBreakdown. So far, this Celtics Bulls series has gone exactly the opposite way people thought. While Boston surprised people by getting the #1 seed in the East, no one thought they'd have too much trouble with a team that had to struggle just to make the playoffs. But now, the Celtics have dropped both home games, halfway towards elimination. So let's look at the top 5 ways they can get back in this series. Number 1, rebounding. Here are the numbers. Their defensive rebounding percentage in the regular season was 75.3%, good for 27th in the league, and they've gotten even worse, plummeting to 62.2%. A big reason is that they can't stop dribble penetration, where the bigs have to rotate and there is no size on the weak side to help the helper. And Avery Bradley helped a lot in the regular season, averaging 7 defensive rebounds per 48 minutes, and that has fallen off a cliff in the playoffs to a measly 2.6 defensive rebounds. Robin Lopez has been destroying them with putbacks, many when he sets the ball screen and rolls, and the Celtics defense can't contain the ball. But let's face it, even with 2 guys bear hugging him, they can't keep him off the glass. I imagine he'll come back down to earth and not continue averaging 16 points a game, but Tyler Zeller anybody? Number 2, stop Rajon Rondo. I get it, there's something about playing on national TV that seems to unleash the Hulk Rondo, but the Celtics can't control that, so they'll have to identify what's been killing them and stop it. I don't blame Brad Stevens for not being prepared. Look at his regular season numbers compared to the last 2 games. There is nowhere for Isaiah Thomas to hide on defense anymore, and most of Rondo's buckets come from some form of breakdown with IT's defense. Some has to do with his small stature, but some has to do with poor decisions to gamble for steals. Granted, if they had any kind of rim protection from Horford, Olynyk, or Johnson, they'd be able to protect Isaiah a little bit, but it's simply going to be all on Isaiah to give Rondo more room and keep him from getting within 10 feet of the basket. If he can do that, they'll have a chance to get a miss and grab the board. Number 3, Jae Crowder must play better on both sides of the ball. His defensive effort at times has been lacking, and his decision making on that end not good either, as he foolishly doubles off the ball even though Feliciano was his man to guard. Here, he could have helped off Rondo at half court to stop this Wade penetration, but just reaches in. On the offensive side, he was an elite 3-point shooter on high volume this year, yet he's struggling mightily to make a shot from behind the arc, and most of his attempts have been very good looks. While he's now going on the road for 2 games, I can't imagine he'll continue missing these types of open shots. Number 4, mental toughness. In the 4th quarter of Game 2, the Celtics fell apart in a series of terrible shots on offense that led to a 10-0 run that effectively ended the game. It almost looked like they gave up at this point, and they've got to find a way to stick together and execute a focused game plan. The situation Isaiah Thomas is in is incredibly brutal as he mourns the loss of his sister, and the team needs to find a way to lift him up and get rid of the cloud hanging over their heads. Perhaps dedicating Game 3 to her memory and use that to honor her with inspired play. Number 5, the triple threat. Of these 3 categories, they must win 2 of them. If they're going to get out rebounded, which will most likely be the case, then they have to turn the ball over less and get to the line more. In Game 2, they turned it over 16 times and gave up 23 points on them. The Bulls turned it over 12 times but limited damage to only 8 points. The Celtics averaged 23 free throw attempts per game in the regular season, but that is down to 19, so they'll need to manufacture points at the line in bigger bunches if they have any hope of getting back in this series. So there you have it, sports fans. The Celtics have an unprecedented hole to dig themselves out of. And if they can take care of these 5 things, they'll have a legitimate chance at extending the series and perhaps getting back to the Garden for a Game 7 where history would finally be on their side.